Determinism versus will, an Islamic perspective. In his infinite wisdom, Allah, the most majestic, perfects his creation with absolute truth. He designs and guides all that exists, establishing mechanisms and laws to govern his creation. Through these, Allah has set the universe in a way that is self-explanatory through observation. Every phenomenon is a sign for humans to draw meaning from, be it in our actions, humanity's history, or the cosmic elements. Allah states in the Quran, "And he it is who made the night and the day successive for whoever desires to remember or desires gratitude." Quran 25:62. In another verse, he says, "And it is he who placed for you the stars that you may be guided by them through the darknesses of the land and sea." We have detailed the signs for a people who know. Quran 6 hours 97 minutes. These verses imply that one of the purposes of creation and the actions we engage in are indirect means of communication between Allah and his creation. For instance, Allah uses analogies to invoke human consciousness and justice. He speaks of a slave sharing equally with his master to highlight the absurdity of associating partners with him, as he is far above what they ascribe to him. While slavery is a human activity, it is still part of Allah's creation. From the overarching theme of the Quran, it is apparent that the purpose of enjoying worldly life is to set an example or explain the magnitude of the rewards in the hereafter for the righteous. It is a natural inclination for humans to strive for rewards they understand and to avoid punishments they are aware of. In his wisdom, Allah has created a uniform mechanism that guides all existence, showing a seamless cycle and repetition in the natural world. For example, the structure of planets orbiting a star mirrors that of electrons orbiting an atomic nucleus. In the Quran, Allah compares truth and falsehood to foam on water and precious ore, and he likens the resurrection of humans to the growth of plant from dead soil. Many such analogies can be found throughout the Quran. It is reasonable to map well-known phenomena in the physical world to unknown or spiritual phenomena, as everything originates from a single source. Allah says, "Allah created you and what you do." Quran 37:96. By confirming our inferences through the Quran, we can gauge whether our understanding aligns with the absolute truth. If it contradicts the Quran, then our understanding is flawed. To comprehend the relationship between determinism and free will, we can draw an analogy from the activity of theater or filmmaking. Imagine a movie director who is also the author of the story, with full control over the production resources. He allows the actors to choose their roles after informing them of the rewards and consequences of each. Although the actors follow the director's script, they exercise their will only in choosing their roles, knowing the outcomes. For example, an actor portraying a martial artist in a film may be aware of potential physical strain and injuries as consequences of the role. However, the opponents he is going face, the blow, kick, and in what manner are solely the wills and product of the story author who also directed how the event occurred. Similarly, when we relate the dynamic between an author and a director to the relationship between Allah and humans and jinns, we see that Allah acts through us. The only power we possess is to know and choose. As the author and director of the universe, Allah acts through his creations. In the Quran, he tells the believers during a battle, "And you did not kill them, but it was Allah who killed them. And you threw not, O Muhammad, when you threw, but it was Allah who threw." Quran 8:17. Furthermore, in the story of Pharaoh and the Israelites, when Pharaoh slaughtered the sons and spared the daughters, Allah said, "And recall when we saved your forefathers from the people of Pharaoh, who afflicted you with the worst torment, slaughtering your sons and keeping your women alive. And in that was a great trial from your Lord." Quran 2:49. Observing our own faculties, we realize that our power is limited to knowing and choosing. We cannot invent, harm, or benefit others independently. We have eyes, but the mechanism of seeing is beyond our control. The same goes for hearing and other senses. Allah has designed these mechanisms to be systematic, repetitive, and cyclical, allowing us to learn from the actions of those before us and our surroundings, both animate and inanimate. This understanding resolves many intellectual conflicts. For example, with regard to the ruling on the death penalty for murderers, Allah states that He alone takes life, and that every death is predestined. Yet, He also ordains capital punishment for those guilty of murder. As the author of the universe, Allah has written in His decree that certain individuals will die at specific times and circumstances. The actors, humans and jinns, then choose whether to play those roles. Allah uses messengers and devils as means to propagate and advertise His decrees, offers. This concept can be summarized as follows: Allah has authored a narrative, providing all necessary facilities to bring it to life. He informs the actors, humans and jinns, of the consequences of their roles, good and bad. Good roles may come with short-term pain, but lead to long-term rewards, whereas bad roles may offer short-term pleasure, but result in long-term suffering. Just as actors are compensated for their performance, humans are rewarded or punished in the grand scheme of the universe. One may wonder, if Allah is acting through us, and He created us, what effort do we contribute? The answer lies in the faculties of knowledge and choice that Allah endowed us with. Humans have the ability to know, including the ability to experience pleasure and pain. We are naturally inclined towards pleasure and averse to pain. Our role in this grand scheme of the universe. One may wonder, if Allah is acting through us, and He created us, what effort do we contribute? The answer lies in the faculties of knowledge and choice that Allah endowed us with. Humans have the ability to know, including the ability to experience pleasure and pain. We are naturally inclined towards pleasure and averse to pain. Our role in this grand narrative is to choose, and through our choices, Allah acts. While we experience the outcomes, pleasure or pain, accountability stems from our knowledge and decisions. The reward for choosing painful experience, which are relatively short-term, is long-term pleasure and vice versa. Because He is merciful, He rewards any actor that chose short-term pain to act good guys in His grand scheme, and also due to His justice attribute, He rewards the actors who chose the short-term pleasure with long-time pain. And thus, setting equilibrium in both direction, i.e. good guys, short-term pains times long-time pleasures, equals bad guys, short-term pleasures times long-term pains. Some might object that since Allah created us and is all-knowing, He already knows our choices. Allah provides a clue to this in the Quran: and when I have proportioned him and breathed into him of my created soul, then fall down to him in prostration. Quran 15:29. During the time of Prophet Muhammad, he once stood up for the funeral procession of a Jewish man, and when asked, he explained that he did so in honor of the Ruh, spirit. Without the Ruh from Allah, humans would lack the faculties of knowing and choosing, and thus would not be accountable. Key verses from the Quran to ponder on. 1. To Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. Quran 2:284. 2. They plot and plan, but Allah is the best of planners. Quran 8:30. 3. And they had certainly planned their plan, but with Allah is recorded their plan, even if their plan had been sufficient to do away with the mountains. Quran 14:46.
تولج الليل في النهار وتولج النهار في الليل وتخرج الحي من الميت وتخرج الميت من الحي وترزق من تشاء بغير حساب.